Hi YouTube, how are you doing? I'm doing okay, not too bad. I saw some people over on my Facebook that are, well, a lot of people are, I would call it separating themselves from people that have been using them for a long time. It seems like more people are becoming aware of the con artists, the users, the psychopaths, people that don't want to act like a part of society, but they want to be in society, you know. Um, Ones that are afraid to look at the truth of who they are when they're acting shady and don't want to correct it, but like say, they still want to be a part of society. You don't want to do what's right for everybody, but you want to be with everybody, you know. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm thinking about today. So we might have some noise. We have some, oh, I think they're called technicians. They're for fiber optics. They're putting the line in today and bringing it into the house, and it should be hooked up like this time next week, from what I understand. So we'll have quicker internet, you know. So that'll be cool. But yeah, oh, and I saw, oh, my poor friend. He's he lives in excuse me, in Montana, in the country, and he says he was at work and he started liking a girl at work, and he's like, I clocked out early. He clocked out, got some food, and went home and put it on the fire to cook it, cooking outside, you know. I don't know if he lives in a tent or what, but he's always sharing photos of the mountains and all that out there, so, and cooking outside. So I think, although he works, he might be homeless. I don't know. But anyway. But I thought, how sad. You start liking somebody, so you, instead of getting involved with them, you clock out of work. Whoa, that's drastic. But I can totally relate. Totally. I'll never get that close to somebody ever again. No, no, no. When I mean, I know all the tactics these bozos use out here to rope people in before they take the hatchet and crash your skull open or chop your head off. But yeah, talking about it might make somebody else aware of what they're going through with certain people in your life, and determining whether or not you want to continue that relationship. Because, like with my kids, I cannot handle them as human beings. And that's what you got to ask yourself with family too. I'm going to take a couple aspirins, excuse me. Um, are they worth it? I mean, just because they're blood, do they meet your moral virtues? Do they live up to your standards? I mean, nobody has to be perfect, but if they're so on the other side of the scale, just like not even close to that same level. I mean, they can talk all they want and say that they're on that same level, but that doesn't mean that they are. So, like I say, let them talk, you know, but making a distinction whether or not that you even want to waste your time, your energy, or for me, like the rest of what I have of my life, I mean, I don't mind doing things for others. I just don't want to be expected to. Nobody's been there for me. So now this is my time, you know? Excuse me. I mean, people get put in the hospital and they have all these things wrong with them. And I've even been contacted by people who were going through things and wanted me there while I was going through my own things. And I didn't have the opportunity to tell them of what I was going through because they didn't care. They were just worried about what they were going. When you go through that type of thing so many times with people, after a while you're like, okay, that's enough of that, you know. So anyway, yeah, I just thought it was sad though. I mean, yeah, I guess the world, yeah, love is blind, marriage opens your eyes. Quote from Dwayne Weist Sr., my father-in-law. Yeah. Wow, did he get his eyes open. When he went off to war, the first wife he had, he came back home and there were twin girls that she was pregnant with that were not his. And to this day, these women try to contact us and be a part of the family. They're not even family, you know. But Doug's brother talks to him, but I'm not going to. They're not family. He had to go, Doug's dad had to go back east after he had come to Minnesota with Doug's mother, and they got a divorce from his first wife. And well, anyway, so he had to go back through these courts and prove that these children weren't his. And so anyway, yeah, love. Love is blind, marriage opens your eyes. That's his quote. Boy, does it ever. Once they put a ring on it. Whew, yeah, if they do. Some of them don't even want to do that. Beware of that, you know. I had a thing where Doug would buy me every piece of jewelry. Well, he gave me a promise ring, but he'd like buy me all this extravagant stuff. And I wanted a ring if it wasn't that the first thing I was. If you're not marriage minded, I don't want anything to do with you. We don't need to just jump right into things. But the initial plan, I'm not going to waste my time and money on people, you know. And when you're a young mother and you're working, your time and your money is very valuable, you know. So, but sometimes people are a lot. Oh, you see them different than what it actually is, you know. When you're young, you don't. I mean, yeah, I've studied psychology all my life, and that's why it's hard for these people to manipulate me. Um, it doesn't mean they don't try, and I found them using new ways to try and manipulate me. Um, I didn't think my love and my kindness would be used as a weapon against me or guilt tripping me when I withdraw that, you know. That's, yeah. But they do. Yeah, it is sad. It really is. I just can't handle the stuff though. I mean, say like if you're having a really pleasant conversation and then you have somebody, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to use this for an example, but say it's a man that's had uh, relations with another man or something, but this is your son, and then just out of the blue, they say something just totally gross or heinous to it makes it sound like there never was any love making involved in making children or the love that nurtures and oh, I'm gonna share later. I had watched a video and it was about Sigma moms like I am. Um, are we cold or cool? You know, and that'll give you some insight of what type of mom I was and what I expect out of my sons or expected. And they can pretend that this wasn't my personality raising them, and they want to pretend that I didn't nurture them and raise them to stand on their own feet like men, not little girls, and yeah, there is a difference typically, you know, usually, um, men aren't quite as emotional or they usually don't carry feminine traits unless they've practiced them or been taught them by other people. And that's a fact. I saw it happen to my kids. I know. I know who I gave birth to and what they are now and how they got that way. And it was by abusing them so they wouldn't excel beyond their father. Putting it very bluntly, and if you're watching me, I'll never forgive you people. My adopted parents, they loved him. They loved my ex. Why? Because he had a low vibing, filthy mind just like them. That's why. Because they will do anything and everything to somebody else just to get their own way. So, yeah, they loved him, you know? Me, not so much. Didn't love me so much at all, you know. Just pretended to because I have a way of getting things done and making things happen, and they know that, and they wanted to take advantage of it. Hey, I can help somebody from a distance. You don't have to suck up to me to make me wish well for you. In fact, sucking up to me and not actually caring about me will make me fucking hate you. So have at it, you know. Actually, treating me like a human being would benefit people more than pretending with my feelings, you know. That's where I get pissed, you know. So, anybody else feel like that? Why I'm gonna share a meme too. I'll probably put it on the thumbnail if it fits, but I mean, why don't you just say it to my face that you don't like me, you know? Why pretend? What do you think, like, if I knew somebody actually did not like me instead of pretending they do, and then having their snide little comments, their little fucking smirky shit, and rolling their eyes or whatever they do when you're talking to them. I'm talking about adults here that do those type of things in front of certain people or whatever. Um, just tell me you don't like me like I do. I tell people, hey, I love you, but I don't like you. What's the big deal? Why not be honest? You know? Besides that, the truth has a way of coming out. I mean, you can keep trying to bury it all you want, but it's not going to matter because um, the truth will come out. It um, defends itself. It doesn't have to hide like lies do. You know, when people have things to cover up about themselves, they don't want to be exposed to the world for the coldness that they actually carry within themselves, you know. And how did I learn how to be a parent? Quite a bit from how I was raised and didn't want to raise my kids. It wasn't from emulation. It was de-emulation, you know, for the most part. Well, I think that's going to be about it today. I just want to talk a little bit about separating our emotions from them that aren't worthy. You know, it's a real thing that you have to take care of your heart, you know, before they're just going to continually break it, you know. Just get away from them if you're or limit your time with people like that. Don't give them your golden soul. Don't do it. That's yours. It's not for anybody else to stomp on or walk on or use or bait or manipulate or lie about. None of it. So, all right, everybody, have a really good night or day wherever you're at. Peace from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.